This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let us see. So deployment, so important concept it is. Okay, so here in deployment, so normally you'll do the development in different developer org, developer sandbox. So from the developer sandbox, so once your code is tested and if it is you know, so if the code is covered by 75% test classes, test methods, okay, otherwise not covered also, some code will be deployed directly. But so best practice is creating the test classes for your code. Okay, let us see. So how to move the data from one sandbox to production, from its sandbox to production. So let me log into my sandbox environment. So using Changeset. So we already seen so deployment using force.com IDE tool. Okay. So first we downloaded all the data, organization data as a project in the force.com Eclipse tool. Then after from that, we send that data to server. There we entered the server details and it accepted the details. Okay, just a moment here. Okay, so this is my sandbox. So from this, so setup. So using the outbound chain set. Outbound chain set. Create one outbound chain set. Chain set information. What is chain set? All the things will be there. Yeah. So continue. Create. So there is a trigger. Secret keyword trigger. That trigger I am deploying to my production, for example. So I already created trigger, normal trigger creation only. I created one trigger. Then after I created one chain set with this name. To this, I am attaching that trigger. Chain set components. Add. What do you want to attach? Apex class, trigger, apps, objects, different options, all the things, tabs. So here Apex trigger I want to attach. Okay, so these are the triggers I have. So I want to deploy this one. Add to change set. Select the trigger and click on add to change set. So look for any dependencies. This trigger related any dependencies are there, it will check. No depending items that needs to be deployed. Okay, so trigger is attached to this outbound change set. So outbound change set is created in sender org. Outbound change set is created in sender org, that is my sandbox. My sandbox to I'm uploading to where? Uploading to this connected production environment. There is one connected production environment for this sandbox. To that production environment, it is being uploaded. So upload in progress. It will give the message upload is done, like that. Okay, change set uploaded successfully. Then after, let me access my production arc in another browser. Just a moment. So this is my production. This is my production arc for that sandbox. So how that sandbox was created, I will explain. After this deployment, I will explain how that sandbox was created, how to create new sandbox, how to activate that. Those things also we'll see. Okay, this is lightning experience as you already know. So I'm switching to Salesforce Classic. Okay, in lightning also you can do all the things as I already told you. But so we learn all the things in Salesforce Classic, so that's why. So go to setup in the Classic. So scroll down, deploy sandboxes. There I created the sandbox. So outbound change set. I'm not sending anything from this arg to another arg. I'm receiving inbound change set. So click on inbound change set. Already, so from one sandbox we uploaded. Here we uploaded the thing. So this uploaded thing, secret keyword trigger, is ready to deploy here in this production. So continue. Okay. So change sets awaiting deployment. So secret keyword trigger is there. So click on that secret keyword trigger from the change sets awaiting deployment section. Okay. Validate, deploy. If you validate, so it will check whether this can be deployed or not. If you deploy, it auto test all the settings, necessary things like running the test classes, and it will deploy. So first, so recommendation, as per the recommendation, validate it, the thing to be deployed, then deploy it, validate it. So several options are there. Okay, running the test classes in both the sandbox side, production side. Run local tests, only production side, this org test classes. Run all tests, run all tests in this organization. Run specified tests, like that different options are there. Use the default one, no issue. Use the default one. Deployment started. Whether this can be deployed or not, this gives the result. Wait for some time and refresh it. Okay, validate succeeded. Validate succeeded. So this can be deployed. Now deploy it. While deploying also, it is again running the test classes. Use the default. Now this gets deployed, and here status gets updated to deployed succeeded. Deploy succeeded. Refresh the page. Okay, deploy succeeded. Yeah, got it? Yeah?
Yes, but how to get the production org because we have only developed. Uh,
Okay. See here, at first, when your company registers for Salesforce, they uses the edition like enterprise edition account. enterprise edition account or unlimited edition account they will use. Okay. Now what I am explaining is enterprise edition account. So when you get the account, so you will get only production. They will give production access only. Okay, at first production only will be there. Your developers creates the sandboxes. Okay, different sandboxes they will create. Those sandboxes are type of sandboxes. Developer, Developer Pro, partial copy, full copy. Okay, partial sandbox, full sandbox. These are types of sandboxes. Sandbox types. At first, when you register for Salesforce, you will get production only. This is production. So from the production, you will create sandboxes. These sandboxes are related to this production. You will develop the things here and you will deploy to this. Finally, production gets the things. Okay, let us see. So I will show how to create another sandbox. So in this art, this is the production environment. The difference between production and sandbox, you won't see anything here. If you see anything here, that is sandbox. If nothing visible here, that is production. Okay. If you see sandbox, you can see sandbox SRI. This sandbox name is SRI. But here, there is no name here. That means this is the main CRM. This is the main SAM production. But this is a sandbox with the name SRI. The sandbox name is SRI. Okay. You will use the same credentials. Srini, this person only logged in to Sandbox as well as this production. Same person logged in. Okay. To access Sandbox, to access production, you will use the credential. You will use the login.salesforce.com. This is the URL. There you will enter your username password. Username password. Here to access Sandbox, any Sandbox, the URL will be different. test.salesforce.com. Your credentials will be also different. Username dot sandbox name, here SRI, password as it is. Here SRI is the sandbox name. Which sandbox you are accessing, that sandbox name it is. Your username followed by sandbox name, dot sandbox name. Then after password. Got it this? Yeah.
Yes.
Like that I accessed. So Sri Sandbox. I access Sri Sandbox in Chrome and production in the Internet Explorer. Okay, whatever there in my Internet Explorer is production. In Chrome, I have accessed Sandbox, Sri Sandbox. There I used these credentials. Test.salesforce.com. Username is this. Let us say creating new sandbox. So in production, we have the deploy sandboxes. The number of available sandboxes for this organization, you can see I can create 39 more sandboxes. Okay, I can create, I already created one partial copy, one full copy sandboxes, one developer sandbox. Okay, so let us see new sandbox. Click on new sandbox. So 39 developer sandboxes available. Okay, so sandbox name Bratati. So these are the details. So very important, these details. So you can take a screenshot. Sandbox details. Take one screenshot. They will ask the limitations. Sandbox limitations. Capacity of sandbox. Refresh interval. All the things. Okay. Now you are creating developer sandbox. Click on next. Already you have given name Bratati. Click on next. No need to select Apex class here. Create. Okay, Bratati sandbox creation is pending. So it will take time. So once created, so it will display like this. Like this. Then, so let me do the deployment activity one more time. So you can deploy the things from production to sandbox also. You can also deploy production to sandbox. You have to enable the settings. Deployment change set settings you should enable. So for that, go to deployment settings in both the sandbox side, production side, and enable the things. So deployment settings. Okay, enable these connections. So as of now, so there is no connection between you created but connection disabled between full copy sandbox and your production. You want to enable the connection, then you can enable. Okay, it accepts. It sends. It can send, but so outbound should be enabled from full copy side. Full copy sandbox. You need to log into full copy sandbox. There you have to enable. Let me log into my full copy sandbox and enable this. I'm logging into full copy sandbox. Test.salesforce.com. Okay, see here, username dot sandbox name. credentials. Username dot sandbox name, password, test.salesforce.com. So this is my full copy sandbox. The name of the sandbox you can see on the top. So this is different, full copy sandbox. Here give the permission to production to receive the outbound change set. Go to setup. In the deployment settings, enable outbound change set from this from this sandbox to production. Deployment settings. Continue. Production. Edit production. Now two-way connection between production and full copy sandbox. It can send, it can receive from production. It can send to production or so once the two-side connection is formed, you can send, you can receive from production or from sandbox. Let us see, I will create one new object and that object I will deploy to production. Maybe it is taking time to refresh. Browser issue. I think this browser is not working. Let me create one new object and that object I will deploy to production. I will create the object in sandbox and that I deploy to production. So using the schema builder, I am creating one object. Now two-side connection formed between production and full copy sandbox. You can see here. If you refresh, this also gets a tick. Okay. This we enabled from sandbox. So I'm creating new object in full copy sandbox. object is created. This related tab and fields I will create. Okay, already name is there. Okay, email. Okay, so these fields, let me add these fields on the layout, because all fields are optional. No field gets added on the page layout. So you must add separately. Okay, I created an object and that related fields I created. Then after, I'm creating the tab for this. So I enabled this for sales application. So that's why this tab displaying here. And new record form appears like this. I want to move this to my production. So create a change set, outbound change set. New chain set. Okay, add the items to deploy. So what do you want to deploy? Select custom object here. These are the custom objects in this arc. This object you want to deploy. View all the depending items of this object. These are all depending items. Page layout, list view, other fields. Tab is not there in the list. So add another item, that is object tab. Tab is not selected. You create a tab also. See here, tab is there. Select tab. So this is the tab. This object tab you are deploying. Okay, tab is selected. Custom object is there. Custom object tab. Its page layout. Everything. Custom fields you created, everything you added to this outbound chain set. Now upload this. Upload to production. So upload in progress. Done. So go to the production. In Internet Explorer, I already logged into production. So go to its inbound chain set. So items waiting to deploy. That is the chain set name. So it is taking time. Though it is displaying, it is not fully ready. Okay, it will take some time. Maybe up to 30 minutes or later based on the items to deploy. Okay. So components weight is there, so that's why not everything ready to deploy in process. Okay, it will take some time. So once that is done, you can click on that. Same like earlier, you can validate it, you can deploy it. But here no test classes will run. So because that is not Apex code you are deploying, so it will just validate whether any depending items are missing. Okay. So like any permissions, other things, if nothing, um, no issue with those missing depending items, then it will validate successfully that you can deploy. Let me try check again. Okay, not yet ready. Okay, we'll check after 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, let us see sandbox statuses. We created one sandbox, so that is ready now. Okay, this sandbox is ready now. Let us have a look at this. So how to log into this sandbox? So it's details. So you want to copy any details into this sandbox, you can create. So as of now, this is the sandbox ID, and at this location, the sandbox is created. At different locations, sandboxes will be created. So this is the location of this sandbox. This sandbox location is this. The sandbox location is this. Okay, and this sandbox is created in this location. Then after, so developer sandbox refreshes every 1 day. So if you add any items um, to take the data into the developer sandbox, so those details auto refreshes from the production and copies to sandbox. See here what details it can copy by default. By default, a sandbox copy the details like if it is developer, it automatically maintains all the configurations without data, um, Apex metadata, and user details. User information here also you can see all users in a sandbox. Okay, in developers pro sandbox also same like here limitation will be different. It is 200 MB. It is its capacity is 1 GB. Refresh interval will be same 1 day. If you done any changes in production, after 1 day it updates in production. Okay, and so partial copy. So 5 days, every 5 days it gets the updates from production. If you create any sandbox template, all the items mentioned in the template, those gets refreshed. So it's capacity 5 GB. It automatically gets all these details. Okay, these details like production, developer sandbox, additionally records of the selected objects. In the sandbox templates, whatever the objects you selected, those items records gets copied into partial copy sandbox. Okay, sandbox template supportability. So in that sandbox template, you will specify which items to copy into this sandbox. So in full copy sandbox, if your production capacity is 100 GB, so full copy sandbox capacity also 100 GB. It automatically contains all these things like partial copy sandbox. Additionally, field history, charter data. Okay, those things also can be copied. This is field history, charter data, charter feed. Okay, that means just like production. So full copy is just like production only. But you can specify which items to be copied. That is as per the uh, template, sandbox template options you mentioned. Okay. So sandbox template you can create sandbox templates. You can create sandbox template. Use sandbox template, give the name. So these are the objects. Which object details to be specifying you want to enable. So if this sandbox template is given for partial copy sandbox, all the items specified in this template will be copied, refreshed every 5 days. Okay, let's see inbound change set that will be ready. You are deploying Sujata object. So this is ready now. You can see all the items there in this chain set, inbound chain set with this title. So validate this inbound chain set. So default validate it. Okay, validate succeeded. You can deploy it now. Deploy it. Deploy succeeded. Okay, here tab is not added. You have to add it separately. So tab is available that you have to. So tab is added now to sales application. It is not displaying. Maybe object visibility missing for those users. So you have to do some configurations after deployment. So if you deploy things like objects, applications, fields, anything, you have to do some configurations. So based on the security things, see here object and that related fields, everything is there. Deployed only. No issue with this. Issue with the tab, I think. So in the applications list, in the sales app, no changes here. Let's see if I can see that tab in the all tabs list. In all tabs list also, that is not displaying. Let me delete that tab and recreate the tab. So tab is deleted and I'm recreating for that object. So tab visibility option is missed actually. Visibility I'm giving to all profiles. So including only in sales application. Now it gets displaying in the production. So this is production. Okay. By default, when you deploy the fields from sandbox to production, their visibility will be hidden for every profile. And those fields will be not adding to the page layout by default. You have to add those fields to the page layout. Okay, so fields deployed, but those fields not appear on the page layout by default. You have to add to the page layout, and if the visibility is hidden, then you have to give the visibility to every profile. Here fields are added, but due to the visibility not there for the profile, so fields are not appearing to the user. Though the user is administrator, they cannot see the fields on the page layout. After I give the permissions to users, they can see the fields. Let me give permissions. So go to fields details page, edit field, click on the field, then change its security. Set field level security, give the visibility, yes, save it. Do this for all the deployed fields from your sandbox to production. Set field level security, give visibility, okay. Okay. You got it this? Deploying the things. If it is an object created in Sandbox, how to deploy, what are the things you should take care. If it is a code, Apex code, either trigger, Visual Force page or Apex class, anything. So you just
Uh,
need to select those items and you will validate the test classes and then you will deploy it.
yeah, I so far understood Srinivas, but we have to practice like I know that I'm able to getting through what you explained, but we have to
Okay.
practice once to get it good.
Okay.
Thing.
Yeah. So this is a inbuilt feature. So Changesets is the inbuilt feature in Salesforce. So it will be easy and easiest one to do the deployment. And Force.com IDE is a plugin, right? An Eclipse tool. You need Eclipse software. You need to download it and configure all the settings. Then after, so sender arg data you need to create in your project, and that project data you need to deploy to server receiver arg. Okay, there you will enter the receiver arg details, username, password, and organization type, whether production or sandbox. Then you will deploy that. So that is the thing. Okay, that we already seen earlier. Yeah. Anything else, Sujata Bratade?
No, we are good.
Yeah, no, Srini.
Okay. Okay, Bratade, Sujata. Uh, so that's all about deployments. Okay. So if you have any doubts related to anything, let me know. So we'll have separate class for that, and we'll yeah we can discuss on those areas. Okay.
Yes, yes, Srinivas. Srinivas, like how we can be a good developer, Salesforce developer? What are the things I have to do? You will suggest.
Um, yeah, developer forums is there.
I'm planning like before applying anything, just I want to brush up my skills, whatever you taught in the class, so that
Okay.
I can just
Yeah.
like when I apply and ready for, I have to practice and I have to ready for the interview to get it better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share interview questions, few interview questions to you both.
Uh, and
You can prepare those.
how many hours I have to spend for this to get it like more experienced in this field?
Not like that actually.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to work on triggers,
Mm-hmm.
test classes,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and Visual Force page creations,
Mm-hmm.
SQL queries,
Mm-hmm.
these things mainly.
Mm. Is there any material SOQL queries and all like all the things which you taught us? Is there any a hard copy like detailed
Yeah,
explanation?
yeah, I'm yet to prepare the material. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if I prepare, I will share with you.
Yeah, please, because
It will
that will be
take time.
helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure,
Because
sure, I will.
we, yeah, because we joined the course, you know why, right? Like to improve our skills as well as financial position, both.
No problem, Sujata.
Thank you so
I
much.
will share. I will share that
Yeah,
material.
thanks a lot, Srinivas. Yeah.
See here, this is one forum. So
Mm-hmm.
developer.salesforce.com forums.
Mm-hmm.
Here you can post your question. If you have any issue, log in with your Salesforce credentials. You can post your question. So most of the things you will get. See how many questions Apex code related. So most of the uh, so almost all Salesforce developers, architects, administrators will discuss their issues here like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So this is the community, Salesforce community. There you can post your question and get the answers from other developers, and you can keep checking those answers. So this is one helpful thing. And also Salesforce Trailhead is there. So it has some modules. Okay. So those modules you can go through and there will be question and answer type. Practice questions will be there. So you can practice those things.
Okay.
Okay. Developer modules, all those things will be there. Those things you can practice. These things enough. And yeah, you will definitely become a good Salesforce developer.
Will that
If you-
they will ask for experience in this field when we apply for the job?
Yeah, they will ask experience. Definitely. At least 2 years experience they will ask.
But how without joining, how we'll get 2 years experience? Because we join the training, we'll work on that. But if
Um,
job itself they'll not consider, then what, like, right? You understand what I mean?
yeah, you have to put the experience. There is no alternative. Okay, you have to learn the coding much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that will be easy only once you get the job, so you can do the things
Mm-hmm.
easily. So, but in interview, they are looking for experienced candidates only.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hmm. So nowhere they will ask freshers, any company, any technology. So they
Mm-hmm.
will ask at least 3 years experience.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
So that means candidate will be ready to work, right? So if they look for 3 years, no need
Mm-hmm.
to give training again. So that is the funda behind
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay.
So you will learn something
Mm-hmm.
and you will be ready to start coding, start doing the things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
Okay.
they will look for experienced candidates, not the freshers.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Okay.
is the thing.
Yeah.
And do your certifications
Mm-hmm.
and do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Trailhead modules and
Mm-hmm.
developer Salesforce forum. You can use this.
Mm-hmm.
These two things will help you. So long time.
Sure. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, Bratati, do you have any questions?
No, Srini, like a certification is mandatory. Like if I start applying for job and if I'm starting
Certification is not mandatory actually, but coming to salary perspective, so you can
yeah.
ask more salary. That is the only thing with certification. And if you certified, so company also get more benefit from a certified candidate. So their billing will be more than normal candidates. Their clients don't, prefer for candidates without certification. So they're foreign client. So that is the thing happening in the market. So that's why do the certification that adds value to your resume and also fetches much salary, much package to you, and as well as your company prefer certified candidates. So because more candidates available in the market, so why to go for candidates without certification? So that is the thing they will do.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's better to do the certification. Okay.
Okay.
And
So
certification you
any
shared.
certification you can do. So if you
What
feel
are? Uh-huh.
admin certification is easy, do that one or developer. Okay. Any Salesforce certification, they will mention in the comments in the last lines. Any Salesforce certification is preferred, like that.
And what the
Okay.
detail you shared for certification, that is enough for the to study for the exam, right?
Yeah, not like that. There may be not updated details.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they give the idea about certification exam. Okay. So
Okay.
those questions. So based on that, prepare in detail, in depth. So
Mm-hmm.
of the concepts and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely that helps.
Okay. And online some material will get it right.
Yeah,
for
online
this?
materials will be there. You can Google for those things and
Okay,
can
sure,
use those also.
sure. Thanks,
Um,
Srinivas. Thanks
yeah,
a lot. Yeah.
thank you. And also, yeah, try to review my classes. So this is my website. There you can review. So under this, so click on this link. So write your review. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Srinivas, we'll
Yeah,
do that.
sure. Sure,
Thank
sure.
you.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
so
lot.
much. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
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 Bye. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Mhm.